one of the reasons they're not franchising Saquon is, I don't think they believe he's worth the $12 million on the franchise tag. And also, they want to use that franchise tag someplace else. And the rumors are it's Xavier McKinney. I mean, if you're in a full-blown rebuild, then why are you spending your franchise tag on Xavier McKinney? So,
well, he's only 24.
I get, but it's only the 1 year. I mean, if you're rebuilding, you could just rebuild. I think that they believe they've got some pieces here where they can possibly be competitive. But if you're starting, J.J. McCarthy or Nix or Penix, I don't see how that's happening. But we saw what happened in Houston. Nobody saw this coming with Houston. So maybe when we talk about rebuilds, if you get the quarterback right, is it that crazy to think that if he plays well, you might be able to surprise people? Now, obviously, the NFC East is not the AFC South. But did anybody think Houston would be a playoff team?
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think there's anybody on this panel or anybody listening who thinks that anybody that's going to be available with the 6th pick is C.J. Stroud. J.J. McCarthy's not C.J. Stroud. Now, a lot of people didn't know that C.J. Stroud was going to be C.J. Stroud. The Texans did. They probably would have picked him if they had the number 1 pick. So it's a confusing day for the Giants. I mean, we'll talk to Jordan Ron a little bit later on. Maybe he could add some clarity to it, but wow. Okay, let me ask you guys this question. Let's say the Giants offer Saquon 3 years, $24 million, and 15 of it guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cowboys offer him 3 years, $30 million. Where's he going?
How much guaranteed? The same?
No, 20.
I don't know why he would not go to Dallas. I mean, I understand you want to be a Giant. I'm a Giant fan, but not only would he make more money, Michael, he'd have a chance to make a deep run in the playoffs, maybe win a championship.
And no taxes.
Right, but I mean, if I'm Saquon Barkley, as loyal as I want to be, and how, being in New York certainly comes with its benefits. I mean, Dallas comes with its benefits too. But I would think at going to be 27 years old, wouldn't my motivation be, if the money's equal, to go someplace where I've got a chance to shine and maybe win? Or do I want to be a part of a team that doesn't know who their quarterback is? And let's also be honest, too. I think we all believe in Dable and Shane, but it's not like we can guarantee that. It's only been a couple of years. Or do you want to go to Dallas where hey, I don't know if we'll win a championship, but I know I'm going to be on a real competitive team, play on national television almost every week, and have a legitimate shot of winning this division and maybe making a deep run to the playoffs? Heck, Houston's more attractive, Michael. It's a winnable division. They went to the playoffs last year. Got a good young quarterback.
They won a playoff game.
And listen, I love the Giants. I do. But I can understand him being apprehensive about wanting to come back here when there's just so much up in the air. And his window, what is it, Michael? Best case scenario, what's his window? 2 more really productive years?
Probably.
Maybe 3?
Yeah. I mean, but remember, that's also getting lucky, because the fact of the matter is he gets hurt, unfortunately.
Right. And so if I'm Saquon Barkley and I believe in Shane, I believe in Dable, I believe in Daniel Jones, are you winning next year? Or maybe you go to the playoffs. Maybe you repeat what you did in 2022. But you still have Philadelphia. You still have Dallas to get through in your division. So in all likelihood, you're not winning a championship. Maybe in year 2, maybe in year 3. When they finally turn the corner, he's 28, 29, going to be 30 years old. He might be done.
I'll tell you what, though, Don, you're putting out a 5-year plan. That doesn't happen in the NFL anymore.
Well, no, but I'm putting out a 5-year. Not. First of all, I didn't go 5. I went 3 to win a title. Now, I don't think it takes
No. But that they've already had 2, so that's a 5-year plan.
Well, but Michael, you're scrapping it if you're going to be starting a young quarterback this year.
Yeah, I mean, they must be very, very secure in their job to think that they could scrap a plan and start another one and go 5 years. Houston didn't go 5 years. Houston did it in 1 year.
Well, Houston did it in 1 year because
with that coach and that, yeah.
With that, so I don't know. But if you're telling me that they're going to draft J.J. McCarthy and have him be the starting quarterback in 2024, I mean, are you going to count that as year 3 of your rebuild?
Yeah.
Well, but how could you win? 2 years ago, they won a playoff game. They weren't. They considered this was all part of the rebuild, but then they're playing in the divisional round of the playoffs, and then their quarterback gets hurt in year 2, and now they scrap the. Once you start over at quarterback, you reset the clock.
You reset the clock. The owners might not.
I don't know what John Mara's thinking. But as John Mara, you've said it many times before, Michael, how many coaches you're going to go through. I told you that if this team went 1-16 or 2-15, they'd have to let Dable go. And you said no, they'd look foolish if they let him go.
Right.
But now you're prepared to blow it up in year 3?
Well, because I don't. If you just look at the landscape of sports, nobody gets 3 years to build a sustainable winning team. You don't have to win a Super Bowl, but you have to be pointed in the right direction. Do you think they're pointed in the right direction right now?
But if you are going to allow this regime to draft a quarterback with the 6th overall pick, then you are resetting the clock. Otherwise, you should have fired him at the end of the year and let the new regime make the pick. But if you're letting this regime make the pick and letting that coach the young quarterback, Michael, then John Mara, whether he wants to or not, has reset the clock. Because how unfair would it be if you hand the 6th overall pick the starting job and then they win 5 games and then you fire Dable? Wouldn't that look unfair? And then you fire Shane, and now the quarterback you drafted 6th overall has to get another coach and another general manager? I mean, it would just be crazy.
I don't think you can't fire the architect, but and then Dable is supposed to be a quarterback whisperer, so they're in a conundrum now. If they're going to reset, that's a lot, man. But it's a lot to do.
But what else? Then you're not drafting a quarterback?
All right, let me throw this at you. Russell Wilson's due to make $35 million this year, guaranteed, paid by the Broncos. You could get him for minimum wage as an offset. So if you pay him $1 million, Broncos pay him $34. Would you do that?
Yeah, I mean, if I can get somebody minimum wage that in an awful, disgusting year in which he got released, he threw 26 touchdown passes and 6 interceptions.
Yep.
That's why I think.
And can you imagine what Dable could do with him? What Dable did with a guy like Josh Allen?
That's on the table, too. And then you draft a wide receiver at 6, and now you got yourself a weapon. But you know what I'm saying, Michael, is that if you know you're going to let your current regime draft another quarterback that high, you are resetting the clock. Otherwise, at the end of the season, when you knew they had their pick, I can't let them start over again, and you'd fire everybody. But you didn't. So if you're going to let them draft a quarterback, how can you not reset the clock?
Well, it's going to be interesting because if you draft J.J. McCarthy and you start him next year, there's a good chance you go 3-14. There's just a good chance. And then what kind of taste does Mara and Tisch have as their fans are booing and not showing up for the last 5 home games? What kind of taste do they have for that? And you could say, yeah, we're all in. But then when you see the ugliness of it, you might not be in.